With the latest update, the Matriarch, a new Arc boss, has been added into the mix, and this one is a pretty fun and cool fight, but it can be challenging. But don't worry, we've already taken it down to give you guys some of the best tips and a guide on how to effectively do it yourself to hopefully make your life easier. If we did help you out here, a quick like below really does help us out, and do tell us what you think of these giant Arc bosses. Are they too scary to take down with the risk of PvP? Are they worth the rewards? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Alright, so the very first step is that you need to look out for the Matriarch event on one of the maps. It rotates between different maps. I've seen it pop up on Dam Battlegrounds, I've seen it pop up on Blue Gate, and I think it can pop up on Spaceport as well, although I've not seen that myself. But for this video, we're going to recommend you wait until it comes up on Dam Battlegrounds, as we've got you covered with the best way to do it safely. Now let's move on to step 2, because you're going to need to bring a certain kind of loadout to make your life so much easier to take this thing down. Now the loadout will be slightly different depending on if you're solo or playing in a group, and I do recommend doing it in a group as it is just generally safer and easier, but you can do it solo as well, you just might need more ammo. We'll start off by recommending the blue or purple survival augment. This is because it gives you a bunch of extra inventory slots, carry weight, and 3 safe pocket slots, which will come in very handy for looting and securing the reactors later on. Alongside that, I recommend bringing at least a blue shield. The light shield is doable here, but the blue shield just gives you a bit of extra wiggle room if there's any mistakes or unfortunate events. For the weapon, I recommend bringing the hole cracker along. This is a really strong weapon to fight Arc with. It basically shoots explosive grenades that blow up on Arc. It doesn't really do anything against other players. It's purely an anti-Arc weapon. If you have already taken out the Queen though and you've done the Harvester puzzle, the Jupiter Sniper Rifle can be a really good pick as well, as it's actually very effective, unlike the Equalizer, which really isn't. For the ammo for the hole cracker, I recommend bringing around 8 stacks or more if solo, and if you're playing in a group, around 4 stacks should be enough. I always recommend bringing a secondary weapon that you're very comfortable with using in case some PvP breaks out, or if you just run out of hole cracker ammo, in which case a heavy weapon is ideal. For me, the Anvil is a great all-arounder. It uses heavy ammo, and it is good in PvP if something does go down, so bring a secondary weapon just in case. Outside of that, bring more meds than you think you will need, maybe even more than 1 stack of each, especially for shields because they can break quite quickly. So bring a bunch of extra medical items just in case. Then you do want to bring some adrenaline shots. This is because if you spawn on the other side of the map, then, well, you're going to need to run a long way, and these will help you get set up and in position faster. Outside of that, I highly recommend bringing a stack of 3 to 5 smoke grenades. This will help you disengage if someone tries to PvP you. It will also help you cover yourself while looting. Smoke grenades have been incredibly clutch for us, so I definitely recommend taking them. Now, for the spot that we're going to recommend, you will want to bring barricades. Ideally, you want between 4 and 6 of them, but if you're in a group, you could bring a couple each. Outside of that, a Raider hatch key will be essential for getting a smooth getaway without having to risk a normal extraction and losing all your loot at the end, so always bring a Raider hatch key. And finally, I recommend bringing a bunch of wolf packs if you can. Wolf packs are great, they will speed up how quickly you can do this fight if it gets in range, so wolf packs are going to be really good. Furthermore, the Matriarch can spawn additional Arc that will attack you, so they're going to be even more impactful. So bring a couple wolf packs at a minimum. Now we have step 3, your map location and setting up for the fight. Now for the map, I recommend that you do it on Dam Battlegrounds because we have this really strong location that you can use to help you take it down. Now the actual Matriarch itself will spawn around the breach in the middle of the dam where it's broken down, so it's going to be basically bang in the middle of the map. But the pipeline tower here is a fantastic spot that you can use to take it down. A lot of other players are ziplining onto the roof of the tower and using that. However, we have found that to be an incredible hotspot for PvP and getting attacked by other players constantly. In our opinion, it is not worth going up there because of how vulnerable you are, and the simple fact that other players are farming people for their gear when they go up there to take the Matriarch down. I don't really know how people have fun doing this. It seems like a cheap way to PvP and get some easy kills, but you know, people have got to do what they've got to do to get that gear, so do be careful if you ever go up there. So instead, what you actually want to do is our secret spot that is underneath the tower. You want to go where we're going here in the video, under the tower and around the corner. There's a little corridor that you can use barricades to block off so other players can't see you or get to you. This little corridor will become your base of operations for taking down the Matriarch. With between 4 and 6 barricades, or I guess 2 at a minimum, but ideally 4 or 6, you can double or triple block off each way of the corridor, so you give yourself a little area where people can't really bother you. We even did get attacked at one point while we were here, and they just couldn't do anything about it. So they ended up just leaving us alone. It wasn't worth their time. So once you've got to the corridor and you've set up your barricades, now in this spot, what you want to take note of is that you can jump up on top or use it as cover when shooting down at the Matriarch. This spot's actually really cool because it gives you protection against all of her attacks and allows you to attack her back by shooting off the side or over the top. So this spot that we happen to use and set up on actually became our favorite and the most consistent for taking her down and not getting PvP'd. Now let's talk about the fight itself, what to look out for and what to focus on doing. The Matriarch is a little different to the Queen fight in that all of her attacks are essentially some form of missiles that will be launched your way. The first and most common one will be the gas missiles. She will shoot giant missile-looking rockets at you, but they will simply explode into a green gas cloud that drains your stamina. Now this really can just be ignored because you don't really need your stamina in our spot too much, so this is actually pretty good when it happens. You can just keep DPSing. She also can do flashbang attacks, which will basically blind your screen a little bit, but again, they're not too much of a worry, especially if you're using cover to block them. But the one that you do want to watch out for is her homing missile attack. She will launch missiles into the air that will then fly horizontally towards any players in a massive zone around her. This means anyone in your party and anyone in the area will get targeted, and what you want to do is basically just hide behind cover. Even the railings can help mitigate the damage of this because this spot's really strong for it, so these aren't really too much of a problem. Just make sure that you aren't standing up on top in the open when she does this attack. Periodically throughout the fight, she will also call in reinforcements. This can be random between the little drones, between leapers, even bastions and bombardiers. Generally, you can just ignore the ads unless they're aggressively targeting you, and if they do that, just throw a couple wolf packs to deal with them. Perhaps the worst one is the Rocketeer that she can spawn, but again, wolf packs will just be your best friend in that scenario. You want to note that sometimes she deploys a massive energy shield around her, and when this is up, you cannot hit her from outside of it. You can just walk up through it, but I do not recommend doing that. It's more dangerous, people could PvP you. Just stay in the spot and wait for the shield to go down. It doesn't stay up very long. Outside of that, what you want to be doing with your Hullcracker or Jupiter is repeatedly shooting her in her body. Aiming for the legs is less consistent as she moves around a lot, and while you could focus weak points, honestly, the most easy and consistent way is to just repeatedly shoot her in her head or the open vents in her lower front. Just do that enough times, and after a bunch of ammo and wolf packs, she will go down no problem. After that, it simply becomes another problem of looting her. Other players are going to be super thirsty to steal that loot from you. They've probably been watching the whole time. This is why you brought those smoke grenades and that Raider hatch key. You want to run over to her if you get shot at, deploy some smokes as you're running, deploy more smokes as you're looting, get as much as you can in your safe pocket and in your inventory, and then run to the nearest Raider hatch. We found the one in the Red Lakes to be the closest and the furthest away from other players shooting at us, so grab that loot and get out of there in a Raider hatch. The main piece of loot here that is unique to this is a new legendary reactor, the Matriarch reactor, which you're going to need to craft the Aphelion rifle. It is unknown currently where the blueprint for this comes from, but hey, getting those reactors in preparation is going to be nice for when we find it. Hopefully our location here, our setup, and all of the tips for taking it down will help you guys out so you can get that juicy loot for yourself. And here is our full gameplay of setting up and fighting it so you guys can easily follow along and see exactly how we did it.
There's more people. We're good. We can go down there. Let's be great boys.
Go.
Let's go, boys.
Head home at the Red Lakes hatch. Matriarch reactor, over here.
Here at Arix Gaming, we're two friends who love to play games. You have me, Paradise, as well as 2-6.
Our goal is to keep the videos as concise as possible by cutting out any of the fluff and focusing on what really matters with high quality videos.
So make sure you're subscribed down below for more videos on your favorite games coming very, very soon.